Great. So as I was talking about, this is typically what it looks like when we begin working with clients. Data is everywhere. They're in file folders. We have Word documents, Excel documents, pictures. So it's a bit challenging to identify those impact trends when data is kind of sitting in file folders like this. And so that's really where we come in. And, our platform is really made so that you can enter in all your grant related data or project related data and actually access a diverse set of information in one place. So today what I'll be doing is walking you through a foundation use case, but we work with nonprofits as well. We work with impact investors. So the language that you see on related to grants and grantees is easily changed. So it can be projects and individuals. If you're an NGO, if you're an impact investor, it can be changed to investments and companies. And you'll see some of the grants and grantees language today. So it's kind of nice because the analysis processes are quite similar. But one of the things that we do, the first thing we do with organizations is get their grant related information in or their project related data in. So you can upload projects and amount of funding you've gotten for different projects. And we work in what we call analysis projects in ImpactMapper. So you can create as many analysis projects as you want to analyze different themes. So for example, you might want to analyze, the last 5 years of a particular project that you've implemented. You might want to do an analysis of a strategic plan. You might have another analysis project just for interviews that you've done and a needs assessment for a new project that you're developing, right? So it's very flexible in terms of the data that you can enter. But what this screen shows you is what it looks like as soon as you create a project and you pull in information related to any funding that you've received across a time period, and any implementation exercises you're doing. So what ends up happening is you get this kind of global view on your data, and some of the initial data related to the grant making is available to you right away. So you can see the total number of projects or grants that you've given, the total number of grantees, the total number of countries, and the total amount of funding. And then we have some demographic data here on this side as well, so you can see the frequency of regional outreach, locations, populations, and issues. We really don't want you to analyze some of the basic information that we know you're going to want some data on, right? So we make it easy in this way. The next thing you can do is search this global map and see, where are the gaps, where does it seem like the concentration of funding is around the world. So you can hover over a country and see the total amount of funding in that area, the organizations. And it can also be seen if you click on that country, and on the right-hand side, they'll all pop up. So you'll see any partners that you're working with, and all the visuals that you'll see in the presentation today are downloadable in PDF, PNG, and JPEG. So you can engage with them as you wish and share them in reports or PowerPoints and so on. So this is one of the features that makes us quite unique in the sector. So we're blending this kind of qualitative analysis tool, and you'll see the survey tool and visualization in one place. So this is where you would upload any data that you had in a report. So it might be, a grantee report or an interview, a partner report, stories of change, anything that really is qualitative in nature in a document format, right? It could even be emails where people have shared really amazing quotes about, how powerful this work together was in a given project. So what you do is upload your either grant making taxonomy or your impact framework and metrics on the right. This is totally customizable to your own organization. Could be strategic plan outcomes or those impact metrics related to projects and programs. And as someone's engaging and going through this document, you highlight pieces of text that are relevant to that change, and you click on it, and it's going to give you a frequency of 1. And now that you're turning that into quantitative data, it can be charted. The other thing that you can do here is pull out quantitative data that lie within text documents. And this is a really helpful feature. It could be tracking the number of people that have attended a certain training program, or the amount of funding over the years that an organization has. to track financial capacity and sustainability over time. Very flexible here. But again, this helps you, so you highlight the number and you click on your metric, and then it's going to auto sum and auto average that data across the entire data set. It makes it a very nice and reliable way to pull that quantitative information out and do the analysis. The other thing you can do here is to highlight quotes that are really compelling that you want to save for later. So you can really easily enter them into the reports. So now that you've marked this data up and really transformed some of this qualitative data into the quantitative metrics, you can chart it. And you've probably already also entered information that's related to finances and project-related data and demographics, etc. So we have 8 different types of charts in place. We have the bar chart, the stacked bar chart, the horizontal bar, the line, the area, the pie, the heat map, and the bubble charts. All of these charts can be customized according to your brand colors, so you can, change this. You again, can really do a little bit of adaptation and customization for your purposes. If you're going to be exporting it in like a presentation view versus a Word document, all of this is easily accessible in the app. And then again, downloading in PDF, PNG, JPEG, and CSV as well if you wanted to export it and do some higher level analysis somewhere else. And we also have this ability to then search these trends. And this is a really amazing tool for knowledge management in the organization. So here you can say, I want to see all the changes with a particular partner, or I want to see all the changes according to a particular outcome. And then you'll have all the highlighted text immediately available to you. This makes it really amazing in terms of writing reports. So you'll have the quantitative trends and like the amount and frequency of those top outcomes, but then you can actually give some granularity to that information. So you have, examples that you can pull from to write this report. You have maybe amazing quotes you can pull in. So you're really blending the trend analysis with the context and the content and some really important information around that impact. So really nice to kind of bring all the data together in this way. Also really great to use if you're, doing some sort of speech and you need some great examples. This is the place where a lot of organizations go to just constantly have access to this. It also means that information and data live on in an organization. And this is really important for knowledge management and longevity of information, especially when we're often seeing people shifting out of the company or out of the organization. Having a single source that you can go to track those trends over time and not having to often, experience that loss of data and insights when someone leaves an organization is incredibly useful. The other tool that we have is a custom survey tool, and this is, really cool, nice, user-friendly way to collect data, and we have a couple of features that differentiate us from other survey tools in the market. The first one is that we really care about you using your qualitative data. We believe if you're going to collect qualitative data, then we really should be actually using that and analyzing it strategically. And so we've built in a couple of features to help you to do that when you're engaging with surveys. So one of the first ways you can do that is, we have this question builder. We have all the normal sorts of questions that one would ask in a survey, single choice, open-ended, long text, financial questions, etc. But when you're asking, let's say, a long text question, you want a story of change, for example, from an organization, then you also can actually embed your own impact metrics framework into that question. So the respondent would give you a story or give you some outcomes related to that change. And then they also could align that data and tag the data for you according to your outcomes. So what that means is it's this bit of a participatory tagging process that's going on here, making it a bit more relevant for your purposes and also making it much more efficient because you'll have just charts automatically that have been tagged based on the story or text that has been shared. So some people really love the participatory tagging process and others would rather do it themselves. They might want a singular lens of analysis within the organization. And if that's the case, you don't have to embed those tags into the questions. You can just ask the questions as normal, the person submits a survey, and then someone from your organization goes in and tags that data. And the same process happens. You'll be able to see, of course, the original text, and then you also will have that tagged, which gets charted. We also have this feature that's really nice when you're working across cultures and across languages. So we have the ability to add as many languages as you would like. So let's say you want to do a survey in English, French, and Spanish. We ask you which is your language that you'll be doing the analysis in, and we call that the default language. And once that default language is set, you can add all the other languages that you wish, but we will actually analyze all the data based on your default language. So it makes this process of data analysis much easier and much faster. With other survey tools out there, what often happens is you end up with like 3 different surveys in the different languages, and then you have to do this copy and paste exercise in CSVs that have been exported. It's a bit of a mess. I'm sure many of you that have done these kind of multilingual surveys have experienced this pain. And so we wanted to take that out for you and make that really easy and helpful in the process so you can focus on the analysis piece of things. We also have this ability to just check the respondents rate and just check and see who's responded, who hasn't. You can easily follow up with anyone who has filled out the survey or needs to complete the survey through our platform, and just send a reminder email, which makes it easy on your time. And as data roll in, they're automatically visualized. So you can just go through the surveys and check out all the trends. We also have this really nice feature that's great for monitoring and evaluation purposes, or when you want to check like a pre-test and then a post-test after an intervention to see if there's been a shift in knowledge. We call this our series feature. And essentially what it does is makes it very easy to ask the same survey at different time points and then to compare the responses, the beginning and then the end of that process, or if there's multiple time points at multiple time points. It's quite nice, and again, we're really aiming to make this process of analysis for monitoring and evaluation purposes much easier for organizations. And then finally, we make it very easy to also crosstab some of the questions within a survey. So if there's like a regional question or some sort of demographic question and you want to track and just kind of cross that with an outcome related variable, we make that really simple, click of a button, and then the charts come up and you can see if there are any trends based on different regions. And then the final way that we recommend everyone use the tool is to create a project just of awesome stories and quotes. So you can tag these according to different themes or issues. And then this is something you can use for comms. So if someone's writing a blog and needs some great stories, they can come here, grab those. You can use this again for like writing proposals for funding, or if you're doing a speech, whatever is necessary. But it becomes this real knowledge management center for the organization around those stories of impact that often get lost or sitting in emails, and not everyone in the organization has access to them. So this is one way to lift those up. So these are our features. Right now, we're also in this fun process. We've built all these amazing manual processes for analyzing text data, and we are moving towards experimentation and piloting with some AI to make this much more automated. We're really excited about that as well. So really aiming to help support this very large body of knowledge that exists on social impact and lift up these lessons in a much more efficient manner in the future so we can really move money to what matters.